Welcome back, everyone. Now I've got a newbie with me, and they're a little bit nervous. So when they're nervous, I get nervous. I'm so excited about bringing them on because this is something different. I've not ever heard of anything like this. My next guests I have with me, Gretchen and Dan Clements, and they're the owners of Your Family Extended. Welcome to the show. I want to say hi to everybody out there. We're live on Facebook. Please tell everybody first a little bit about what you do and the story behind what made you do this.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We are so excited to bring Your Family Extended into Arizona. We decided to just take this opportunity to celebrate and be with, sorry,
It's
I am
okay.
nervous.
It's okay.
Thank you.
But tell the
So,
story about your father. That's how it really started.
Yeah, so my uncle lived in Peoria actually, and we lived in Oregon. And so when it was December 2022, and I had called him and to wish him a Merry Christmas. And when I called him, he had said, "Oh, I'm locked out of my car." And so we eventually needed to call and do a well person check, and the police had come and helped him out. They said, well, he actually had his keys wrapped around his neck, and so he had access to get into his house. They got into the house. My husband and I decided at that point that we would go ahead and we would drive down from Oregon to go see him. When we arrived, he was disheveled. He was cold. The house was very, very cold, and he was cold. And when we walked in, and he said, "I just don't understand why my house won't warm up." And we found out later through my husband's investigation of the house, he did not have gas, so he didn't have hot water either, and that had been for 6 months. And so when we had gotten there and we kind of started looking around the house and discovering other things, we had started making some phone calls, and the other companies had said that he was close to losing his electricity as well. And so we went to the bank with him, and he was afraid that somebody had been stealing from him. And so we weren't sure. He had mentioned it when we lived in Oregon, and I thought, I just don't know that I believe it. And the neighbors did confirm that was happening. And so we had gone to the bank just to see if anything else had been taken from him. And he was standing behind me, and he was this smart, amazing, wonderful man who was big and strong, and we just didn't know how bad things were. And the bank teller there, she said, "Gretchen, I'm so glad you're here." She mouthed that to us. And so there's so many times people don't know who to call. They see that maybe somebody is in need. They don't know who to call, and we just felt like we didn't want anybody else to deal with the same thing.
So it's pretty wonderful. First of all, thank you for that. We have a lot of people that have parents that live here that they don't live here. And of course, when that happens, sometimes we get busy and then things start happening, right? Now, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the cities that you work in, okay? And how what is the process of what happens? How do they call you, and what happens next? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Carol. We are very, very excited to launch this business in Peoria and Surprise, and also Sun City West. We're really centralizing our efforts in those areas. Our goal is to be able to expand out to more parts of the West Valley, but we know it's just the two of us right now, and we really want to centralize our efforts and serve people well. And so we're starting in those three areas, and really the thrust behind the business is to be that conduit, to be that connection to the extended family, to be that communication back to people's families. You know, no news is not always good news when it comes to our loved ones, and we found that out the hard way. And for us, we wanted to be able to provide a service that was empowering people. We say our tagline is compassionate support that empowers independence. And our goal really is to come alongside of independent seniors and their loved ones and provide that support through regular check-ins, through helps around the house, and also companionship support. And just be available to people as they're in that independent living state that so many people come to Arizona to enjoy. We wanted to be that support to let their loved ones have peace of mind.
So they call you. You're going to do a free a telephone conversation with them, okay? They go, and let me give out their phone numbers, they got a couple of them, so it's 623-201-3116 or 623-201-3162. You can also check them out at yourfamilyextended.com. What I think is important is that once they call, right, what are the services that you offer? You know, I think you mentioned a couple of them, and how it works. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the initial consultation, when you reach out by phone, our goal really is to be able to make a connection. You know, we know that you don't know us and we don't know you, but our goal in that conversation is to be able to make a connection and really to come to a place of understanding what your needs are, how we can support you. We're not trying to sell anything. We really just want to serve people. That is what Gretchen and I have done our entire careers, is to serve people. And this is just another opportunity, another way for us to do that. And so when you make that phone call, we're going to spend some time with you on the phone to really understand what your needs are. And it may be as simple as, hey, we just need you to check in on our loved ones once in a while. This could be either you calling for yourself, or if you have an independent loved one who lives here in these cities and they need support, you can call on their behalf, and we want to make that connection with them as well. But that will be the first step, and then we can schedule those follow-up visits where we can come out and really assess the needs and begin to see how we can best serve you.
What I also think is great about this service that you're offering is you're their eyes,
Yep.
other people's eyes, and oh my gosh, how many times we've got the holidays coming around, and every time you come to see mom or dad, sometimes you see that there's things that are a little bit different going on there. But how nice is it to be able to have a service that comes in, what peace of mind that gives you. I think that's awesome. What are your cost structures?
Do you want to hit on the cost structures?
Sure, yeah, our cost structures, the initial visit is $100, and so with that, we will do an assessment, we'll talk with you, we will see what those needs are, and then after that, that would be like a subscription of $100, so every month you know that your loved one is being checked in on. And beyond that, if you wanted additional time, that would be, again, another $100. And then if we were to stay out at your house and you said, I really need this one project done, or I need some help getting some things out of the attic, because Christmas is coming, then with that, what we would do is we would say the first hour is $100, and then it's $50 beyond that in that
So it's
time chunk.
reasonably priced,
Yep.
right? And again, is all that information on your website?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
so yourfamilyextended.com, and they do free phone consultations. Their phone number is 623-201-3116 or 623-201-3162. Go up onto the website, which is yourfamilyextended.com. The cities that they work in are Peoria, Sun City West, and Surprise. Important, I love that, because my parents aren't alive anymore, okay? And I remember when my dad, who lived in California, and I lived here, that I just had to hear his voice. It was something important that I just knew. Can you imagine, you know, if you have, my father happened to be pretty healthy, but there are so many that are not. And can you imagine just having somebody there that's there checking things out, making sure that they're okay? I mean, once you do that and you come in, and when you see something, let's say you see something that's a little off, do you?
Yep.
What is that? What do you do then?
I think one of the most important parts, and really the reason we wanted to do this business, was to be that conduit between your loved one and the family member. And so what we are hoping to do is to make sure that there is that constant communication with the family members. And so if you were to sign up, we would be reaching out to your family and just saying, hey, you know, it's looking like maybe there's a few more Post-it notes lying around, or maybe there's some concerns for the tripping over rugs, things like that. And so we would be able to have that conversation. I think that's really important, and the missing piece to so many other care type businesses.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what would be for you out there that you want to tell them your final words? What would they be?
Yeah, I think as Gretchen has shared, and Carol, thank you again for this opportunity. Our greatest desire is to come along with an affordable, reliable service that is going to give peace of mind. We want to be the eyes and the ears when your family isn't near, and that's really where it comes from, a heart of our desire to care for your loved ones the way that we would want our loved ones cared for.
And tell them really quickly what makes your company different than some of the people that do come in and do other, like, you know, their light cooking and all those kinds of things. What makes you different?
Yeah, it's coming from a heart of service. It's coming from two people who have served people our entire lives, and really understanding the need for constant communication.
What I love about it is also affordable,
Yeah.
right? That's really important, because a lot of people, they can't afford some of these things. But
Yeah.
listen, the other thing is if you're out of state, have that person have the eyes and ears for you. I love what you said there. And their phone number to call is 623-201-3116 or 623-201-3162. They work in Peoria, Sun City, and Surprise. They do free phone consultations. You can check them out on their website. It's yourfamilyextended.com. And anyone who has a loved one, if you're not near them, you're going to want somebody to check on them. It's yourfamilyextended.com.